Yo guys, what is going on? Blossoms back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. I got a special announcement. Not that anybody cares, but you see this wall over here? You've been seeing this wall for a pretty long time. It's gonna change soon. Ooh, so yeah, I'm adding something to the wall. It's been something that I've been trying to add for quite some time. And finally I just pulled the trigger. I got it. So it's gonna be hanging there. You know, probably over the weekend or something. But yeah, let's just stay tuned for that. Anyway, welcome back to the episode of RQ10-100, where I show you the best car for every single RQ for a given specific track set. Usually I like to go for more of the convoluted track sets, the ones where it's kind of harder to predict. So far on this series, we've done Ocean City Streets. We have done Ocean Beach Slalom. We've also done Tokyo Overpass, as well as the Hairpin Road. So the fifth episode in the series, we're going to cover, as per the request of Sauber, we're going to get Monaco Streets. So if you don't know what Monaco Streets is, this is one that you can actually test out on your own. Monaco 6 is where you find it. And over here, Monaco Streets race number 1. Let's have a gander. Let's have a look at what Monaco Streets looks like. So yeah, I mean, this one is pretty tough to predict. You know, there's like, you know, some turns, there's a roundabout in there, and you end off with what seems to be like a quarter mile or something like that as well. So it's a mix. It's a mix of drags. There's some twisties into it. Is it more MRA based? Is it more handling based? What's the best car within each RQ for that track set? So that's exactly what we're gonna crack down today. And of course, we're gonna start off with the commons. We're going to go into all cars over here, and we're going to filter by performance tires, as well as, I'm not going to filter by low, but I'll filter by low and medium, so we don't need any high ground clearance cars in here. And let us begin. So just to give you guys an insight, the worst of the best is the RQ10 Alpha, and I can see why Sauber wanted me to find the best cars for this, because a lot of the answers ended up being Alfa Romeos at the start. The Alpha has the best time for the worst, 51 seconds and 94 centiseconds, and the best possible time on Monaco City Streets is 233, 34 seconds and 13 centiseconds, done by the T16 Pikes Peak Peugeot. So there's about a 20-second difference between the best of the worst and the best of the best. Anyway, Alfa Romeo Sprint GT kicks us off. Spect at 323 with a time of 51.94. The second car, the best car for RQ11, is a GMC Caballero. This is drag spec 332 with a time of 51.71. RQ12, the best car, goes to the Alfa Romeo GTA 1300 Junior with a time of 50.46 at 332, so drag spec once again. Now that's a pretty interesting one, that the Alpha GTA ended up being the best. If I didn't know any better, I would have probably said it's the Lancia Fulvia Coupe, just because it handles better. So that's one thing to take into account. Handling isn't necessarily the most important thing on this track set. Moving on to RQ13 is the Pontiac Firebird. The Pontiac Firebird comes in with a time of 50.53, which actually makes the Alpha GTA faster than the Pontiac. So the Alpha is not only the fastest out of all the RQ12s, it's also the fastest out of all the RQ13s. But if you're only judging by RQ13s, then the Pontiac Firebird is the best. Now, one thing that I do need to take note, as with every episode in this series, all the times that I get are from Top Drive's records, and those are the times that are available to me. So sometimes there might be a car that might end up being better, but that's because it's not been tested on Top Drive's records yet. Now, moving on to RQ14, we're going to go back to the land of the Alfa Romeos, and it is going to be the Alfa Romeo Junior Z. This is best at 332. Yes, drag spec. No, actually, no, sorry. There's so many times on this notebook, as you can see. This is actually best at 323 with a time of 50.06. The next car, though, is best at 332, and that is going to go to the Alfa Romeo 2600 Sprint. This comes in at a time of 49.74. Now, the next one, the best for RQ16, take note, is also the best in the entire rarity, also entire game. It's the best in the entire rarity. So not only is the Ford Mustang 2 King Cobra the best RQ16 on not Ocean but Monaco Streets, it's the best common for Monaco Streets that have been tested on Top Drive's records. So at 332, the Ford Mustang has a time of 48.88. which is better than what the best of 17 provides. And the best of 17 goes to the Morgan EV3. This comes in at a time of 49.38 at 323, compared to the Mustang's 48.88. Now moving on to RQ18, of course the Mustang is better than the Spider S4 as well. It's 49.04 is the time of the Spider, and last but not least, the best for RQ19 is the Bristol Arnold, and it has a time of 48.96. Now, the interesting thing is that it seems like for the rare, for this rarity, for the common rarity, 332 seems to be the popular way to go. There's no 332 time for the Bristol Arnold on Top Drive's record, so it makes me think maybe this at 332 might be better than the Ford Mustang. But as you know, the times go on the website right now, the best car is the Ford Mustang at 48.88, and the Bristol at 323 is 48.96. Now, moving on to the uncommon range, we're going to start off with RQ20 with a Volkswagen that is winning. 323, 48.63 is the time of the Scirocco. Moving on to RQ21, we're going to move on to Japanese territory of the Mitsubishi Starion GSR. That is a time of 48.33 at 323. I will tell you now, every uncommon that you will see is upgraded 323 unless I say otherwise. Moving on to RQ22, the best car is going to be the Mustang M81. That has a time of 48.01. RQ23 moves on to the Hyundai. Where is the Hyundai? The Hyundai Scoop. So this comes in at a time of 47.76. Now, I wanted to let you know is, 47.16, and this actually has a better time than the best of 24. The best of 24 is represented by the Morgan Plus 8, which has a time of 323, has a time of 47.46. Now, moving on to RQ25, this was a little bit of a shocker. I was actually surprised to see this car win anything. I've not seen this car winning anything in quite some time. It's the Nissan Datsun Sports 2000, the best RQ25 at 323 with a time of 47.34. Now, moving on to RQ26, there are going to be a lot of Mustangs here actually taking the reins for best car on Monaco Street. We're going to start off with the Ford Mustang Mach 1. This one is best at 332 with a time of 46.84. Moving on to RQ27, also drag spec at 332 is the Mitsubishi Starion Turbo, which comes in at a time of 46.69. Now, slightly better than this is the RQ28 Ford Mustang Mach 2. Where is that RQ28? Yeah, there it is. The Mach 2 coming in at a time of 46.56. And the best uncommon in the entire game for Monaco Streets, and also the best with RQ29, is the Ford Mustang Boss 351. That's a huge difference between 28 and 29. 28 was the Mach 2 with 46.56. 28 was the Mach 2 with 46.56. 29 is 45.89. That is the time that the Ford Mustang Boss 351 provides. So it's the best for RQ29 and the best for the entire rarity for the uncommon range. Now, it is also better than the best of RQ30, which is an entire rarity above. So let's begin with that, and it also lands us in the Italian ranks with the Lamborghini Urama GT at 323. It brings in a time of 46.21. Now, moving on to RQ31 is going to be the Mazda V6 MX6. So where is it? Right here, RQ31 323 with a time of 45.73. Now, moving on to RQ33, the best, I jumped over 32. Sorry, there's a lot of notes in here. 32, the best of 32 is the Mitsubishi Starion GSRV with a time of 45.63. Now RQ32, the Starion is the best for RQ32, but it's also the best car for RQ33 and 34. So it is faster than the best of 33. The best of 33 will go to a Lamborghini Islero, but the Starion, just to let you guys know, is better. Then moving on, RQ34 is a Morgan. Where is it? I can't find it right now. RQ34, we're already in the alpha, so I think I overshot it. Yeah, the Morgan AR plus 4. So again, although the Morgan and the Lambo are the best cars within RQ33 and 34 or within their respective RQs, the RQ32 Mitsubishi Starion that we saw earlier has a better time. So for example, the Mitsubishi 45.63 compared to the Morgan's 45.66. Very close, but the Mitsubishi is better. Now moving on to RQ35, the best car for RQ35. It's also the best car for RQ36. This will beat the best of 36. The Mitsubishi FTO GP version R has a time of 45.53. 4514 at 332. Every card that you've seen before this in the rare rarity has been 323, but the FTO is at 332. The best of RQ36 is also at 332 spec. It's another APGP car, which is the Mazda M Speedster. This is a time of 45.24, so it is slower than the Mitsubishi FTO that we saw before, but this is the best car if you're only grading it within RQ36s. Now, moving on to RQ37, we're going to go to the third Lamborghini winner. It's Lamborghini Yalpa at 323 with a time of 45.04. Best car for RQ38 goes to the Donk. The Donk Cavort S8, 323 with a time of 44.73, and the last car is the Fiat Abarth. The Fiat Abarth is the best car for the rare rarity, and also the best car for RQ39 and below. I can't find it right now though. It's an Abarth, so it should be at the top. I don't see it. Where is the, oh, I know why. Because I only did it by slick. Yeah, I didn't have the slick tires. There you go. It's the first one there. The Abarth 1000 TC Berliner Corsa with a time of 44.41 at 323. Now, moving on to the super rares, let's talk about the best super rares for the Monaco streets. We start off with RQ40. The best car is the Mazda Roadster NRA. 44.78 is the time. Moving on to 41 RQ, the best car is the Mazda Monoposto at 323. Now, one more time, I will let you know that if I don't say otherwise, the tunes for these cars are always going to be 323 or 969. So 44.33 is the time for the Mazda Monoposto. The best Monaco City Streets car for RQ42 belongs to the Peugeot 208. I don't think there's a bit of much surprise over here. This car is absolutely fantastic. One of the best bargains in the entire game, and a Blossom choice. Now, moving on to RQ43, it's going to be one of my very own Dodge Chargers. It's the Charger RT Concept 323. Comes in at a time of sub 44 seconds. 43.93 is the time. Moving on to RQ44, we're gonna get with the British right now. It's the Jaguar XK convertible at 323 with a time of 43.86. Now, moving on to 45, we're gonna move on to the Germans. It's a BMW. That's the best car for Monaco streets for 45 and below, and that's gonna go to the BMW 645i, which I have completely overshot. There it is. Yep, 645C. With a time of 43.66. Next up, pretty big jump from 43.66 to 43.38, tuned at 233 instead of 323, is the Pontiac Trans Am 20th anniversary. Now, moving on to our RQ47, the best possible car is one that I would probably not have predicted, and this is also coming at a time of drag spec 332 and at a time of 43.33. That is the Holden HSV. Where is the Holden HSV? It's the yellow boy. Yeah, there it is. So this at drag spec is the best car for 47 and below. Now, moving on to RQ48, the best car is the Infiniti Q60. So it should be the blue one. 5.081 are the times. 43.10 is the time on its Monaco streets. And last but not least, the best car for super rares and below, and the best car for RQ49 is the Porsche Taycan. Now, there are two ways that this could be the best. You can either tune it 323. You could also alternatively tune it 332, and they will have the same time of 42.86, and that goes to the Porsche Taycan. Now, here's an interesting thing. When I was this is a true story. This is a legit true story. Yesterday I was making this video and I was putting in all the times, right, on my notebook so I could, like, convey it easier when I made the video. And I don't know why the time of the Porsche Taycan of 42.86, that number just resonated with me. So I told my girlfriend, I was like, 4286. She has an auntie that works in like the lottery. So I was like, yeah, put 4286 in the lottery. I don't usually play the lottery, but I was like, sometimes when numbers kind of just like stick in my head, I will. So I was like, okay, 4286, put in the lottery. Dude, the winning number yesterday, what was it? So if the Porsche Taycan was 4286, the winning number was 4386. I'll literally put a screenshot right now. Like, it's ridiculous how freaking close that was. Anyway, yeah, Top Drives times, man. That's the reason of why I'm playing the lottery. Moving on to ultra rares, and if you're wondering why I'm playing the lottery, it's because I want to do like a 1 million gold opening. All right, anyway, moving on. RQ50. We start with the ultra rares. The Aston Martin DB7 kicks us off with a time of 42.75. So it does beat the Porsche Taycan. at 323. Now, moving on to the second best car for RQ51 is the Ford FPV GS Ute 4286. 4268. So 4268 compared to the Porsche Taycan's 4286. Now, moving on to RQ52 at 233. This is going to be the best car for a while. I don't think there's any surprise over here. It's the Dodge Circuit EV with a time of 41.95. So not only is the Circuit EV the best car for 52, it will beat the best of 53, 54, 55, and 56. So we'll go through the next couple of winners really quickly because they aren't even that relevant, because remember, the Circuit is going to be better than all of these other cars that you're going to see. So the best of 53 goes to the Chrysler Phaeton. The best of 54 goes to a Mercedes, the SLK 32. The best of 55 goes to another Mercedes, I believe is the SL55. Yes, it is. The best of 56 goes to an Aston Martin. It's the Virage Volante, the one where a lot of people are thinking, should we go 322, 223, 323? But yeah, at 233, the Virage Volante is best at a time of 41.95, which ties. It ties with the Circuit EV. But in my mind, the Circuit EV is better because you save 4 RQ and you get a tie out of it at the same time. Now, moving on to RQ57, the first car to genuinely beat the Dodge Circuit EV is also a Dodge. It's a Dodge Charger SRT8. With a time of 41.80. So 0.015 centiseconds faster, basically, at 233. It's a tie, though. The Dodge Charger also ties with the Cadillac XLRV. They both at the same time. So they are the both joint best RQ57 cars for Monaco streets. Now, moving on to RQ58, there's going to be an onslaught of my absolute favorite brand over here. Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack at 233 with a time of 41.71. 59, we're going to stay with my boys. The best car for 59 is the Dodge Charger Super B at 233 with a time of 41.51. Moving on to RQ60, there is an anomaly. We have a BMW, not an anomaly, but of course, like, I would love a Dodge clean sweep. But the BMW Z4. So at 233, this is a time of 41.46. So it's the best car for the Monaco Street 60 and below. Now, moving on to RQ61, we're going to continue to our winning ways with Dodge is the Charger RT Scat Pack. It's the best car 61 and below with a time of 41.23. Crazy how this car used to be an RQ67 Epic. You remember those days? Now, moving on to RQ62 goes to another car that used to be an Epic as well. I think at one point it was like also 67, and that is the Jaguar XKR with a time of 41.01. Now, moving on to RQ63 is another car that also used to be an Epic, and it used to be a high-end Epic. It used to be RQ26 for crying out loud, but that's also because it used to be medium ground clearance. And that's the Mercedes AMG C63 at 233. It has a time of 49.1. Last but not least, the best for RQ64 is the best for the entire rarity. And also the best, also the best, but better than the best of 65, 66, and 67. You guys want to guess? It's pretty easy. The best Monaco Streets car for 64 and below, and also the best for 65, 66, and 67 is indeed the Peugeot 306 Maxi. The thing is an absolute beast. Now, moving on to the epic rarities, we're going to the big guns, but the Maxi does include itself as a big gun. The best for 65 is the Lamborghini Diablo, so the best of all the Jerrys. My goodness, look at all the 65s over here. That is not a beautiful sight to see. There it is, the Diablo at 233 has a time of 40.70, so worse than the Maxi Turbo. Moving on to 66 is the also Maxi Turbo, but this Maxi Turbo is not as good as the other Maxi Turbo, so that's kind of funny. 40.63 is the time at 233. Now, I would like to let you know that all the tunes for the epics are going to be 233. There are no anomalies, no 323s, no 332s. Every single winner is tuned 233. Now, moving on to the best of 67, we're going back to Lamborghini. So this is the 5th Lamborghini to have won an award in the Monaco City Streets, in the best of Monaco City Streets. Sorry, not City Streets, Monaco Streets. Monaco Streets, no city. Okay, so low ground clearance. It's the RQ67 233 with a time of 40.46, the Diablo SV. Now, moving on to the best of RQ68 belongs to the BMW M6. Where is the there it is, the BMW M6 Grand Coupe with a time of 40.26, and the best of 69 is also a BMW M6 with 40.11. That's the time, and I believe it's just the other M6, right? So where is it? There it is. You have the BMW M6. So one was the Grand Coupe, and I think the other one is the M6, just the regular. Moving on, RQ70. The best car belongs to the Jaguar Project 7, which at one point was an RQ75 car. At 233, it's the first car on the list that gets a sub 42nd time at 39.96. Now, moving on to RQ71 is going to go to another Mercedes. A lot of Mercedes winners over here. It's the Mercedes AMG GT Roadster at a time of 39.80. Moving on to RQ72 with a time of 39.65 is one of my favorite cars that I don't own. It is the Mercedes SLS AMG. So that one there. Now, moving on to RQ73. Is going to be probably like my least favorite car that I own that is also very useful. Very, very useful. Volkswagen Golf GTI W12 233 with a time of 39.53. Now, moving on to RQ74, we've got a new boy from APGP representing Hyundai. It is the Hyundai N74. Where is it? We're currently at Dodge. There it is. Hyundai N74 at 233 has a time of 39.30. And RQ75, the best of RQ75 also beats the best of RQ76. And that is going to be the AC Super Blower. There it is. So AC Super Blower at 233 has a time of 39.11, beats the best of 76, which is my ever so dearest Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. Now, the SRT Hellcat does beat the Hyundai N74, but it does not beat the AC Cobra. So the AC Cobra has a time of 39.11. The Charger has a time of 39.13. Now, moving on to RQ77 at 233, the best car goes to the Arash. Actually, the last three all go to World Expo cars. So the Arash GTS starts us off. The best of 78 will go to the Rezvani Beast Alpha, and the best of 79 goes to the Saleen S1. Now, what is the best epic for the Monaco streets? Well, it's a tie. It's a tie between 79 and 78. So both the Saleen S1 and the Rezvani, they both have the same time on Monaco streets with a time of 38.78. So some may argue that the best car is the Rezvani just because it's slightly, ever so slightly cheaper to use compared to the Saleen. But one thing that I cannot disagree on is that the Saleen is the better car. It's just on this one track set they're kind of equal on, but most places the Saleen is going to be more useful. Now, moving on to the legendaries. As always with this series, I'll be judging the legendaries when they're upgraded 1-1-1. Okay, so we're gonna begin with the Aerial Atom 2 Supercharged. So where is our Aerial? A bunch of Jerry's here as well. RQ80s galore. We need to go all the way to the top. There it is. At 1-1-1 and at a time of 39.80. Now, moving on to the best of 81, we go to Jaguar, the Jaguar XJR. Now, just to give ourselves a little smaller sample size, we're going to get rid of medium. I don't think any medium ground clearance cars are going to be winning any awards with the legendaries over here. RQ82. All right, so we're going to speed through it to the Bristol. That's going to be the best car. Once again, all these times for legends are at 1-1-1 with a time of 39.50. Moving on to RQ83 is the McLaren 570S Spider. RQ84 is also going to stay with the McLarens with the 570S. I'm pretty sure there are 4 McLaren winners within the legendaries alone. RQ85, we got a new boy. It's Zenvo ST1. So this is the reason why I kind of judged these legendaries by 1-1-1. I don't think a lot of people will have fully upgraded times for the Zenvo SV1 on Top Drives records yet. So maybe it would have been a different winner if I judged it by just fully upgraded cars. So the Zenvo, I judged legendaries by 1-1-1 simply because it gives me a bigger sample size in terms of looking for the best cars. Now, moving on to RQ86, the best car is going to be the Rezvani Blackbird. So there you go, a time of 38.81. And then next up is the McLaren again. So actually there are 5 McLaren winners. It's the 650S, the one that I unpacked in Japan, with a time of 38.71. Next up is RQ88 with a Zenvo. Now, this is the best car for 88 and below, and it's also better than the best of RQ89. So this is a time of 38.45 compared to the best of 89, which has a time of 38.53, which goes to the McLaren again. Wow, they have 6 winners, actually. I forgot that this was even a McLaren. 38.53. Now, moving on, RQ90, also a McLaren 720S Spider with a time of 38.28. And then RQ91, also a McLaren with a time of 38.20, so 0.05 seconds faster is the McLaren 720S Coupe. Now, moving on to 92 and 93, we're going to have a duet of Koenigsegg's. So we're going to start off with Blosseg, best of 92 and below, and then we have Blossegg's older brother, the Koenigsegg Agera RS, which is the best of 93 and below. Now, moving on to RQ94, we are going to start with the Hennessy Venom GT Spider. At 111, it has a time of 37:30. Moving on to RQ95, the best car. Oh my god, it's another one. It's a McLaren Senna! There are like 8 of them, I think. Moving on to 96. Now, this one will remain one of the best cars towards the end. It's the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack. So not only is the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack the best car, 111, on Monaco's streets. Monaco streets. I don't know why I put city streets on my notes. It's streets. It's streets, Blossom. It's streets. Not only is the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack the best for Monaco streets, 96 and below, it's also better than the best of 97, 98, 99, 100, and 101. So this car is going to be a fantastic addition to your Monaco streets collection if you have it. The best of 97 is the Rimac Concept. The best of 98 goes to, I believe, is a Hyundai, right? It's a Hyundai PM. Yeah, the PM 580. I just need to look for it. Where are you, sir? We've got the Jag. Oh, there it is, yeah. Hyundai Genesis PM 580T. The best of RQ99 goes to the Hennessy Venom F5. The best of RQ100 goes to the Peugeot 905B. And the best of RQ101 goes to the R18 TDI Ultra. So up to this point, the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack remains the best car, better than everything that you've seen up to this point. And the only car that is able to beat the Jesko Attack, or the first car that is able to beat the Jesko Attack from its onslaught, is the Koenigsegg Concept at 111. It has a time of 36:26 compared to the Jesko Attack's 36:65. Now, moving on to the second best car in the game for Monaco streets is the Volkswagen IDR Pikes Peak. It has a time of 35:55, and the best car overall is the, of course, like I said earlier, is the Peugeot 208 T16. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I will filter just by wish list to show you one more time. These are all the best cars, especially Sauber, if you're watching. These are all the best cars for the Monaco streets. All the way from common, all the way to legendary. Have a good look at your winners. The main ones to take note of would probably be, just the best of each rarity. Some standouts would be the Dodge Circuit EV and the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack. I think another thing to think about is the Peugeot 306 Maxi is better than the Renault Maxi Turbo, the Lamborghini Diablo, and the Lamborghini Diablo SV. And I think that's about it. I don't think there are any more outliers. I guess there is the Super Blower that's better than the Hellcat. Just small one-up RQ kind of stuff. But anyway, guys, a lot of McLarens in here. A lot. Like, literally a lot of McLarens. How many McLarens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... and I think there should be one more, right, in the center. Oh, 6, 7. Yeah, there's 7, so that's crazy. But anyway, guys, hope you guys have a great day. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girl